Question 1. An IoT company needs to securely onboard and manage millions of devices. The solution must scale elastically, support secure communication, and integrate with analytic services. Options: A. Use AWS IoT Core with IAM policies for each device. B. Use AWS IoT Core with device certificates and policies. C. Use an auto-scaling EC2 fleet to manage device connections. D. Use S3 for storing device data and Lambda for processing. Correct answer: B. Use AWS IoT Core with device certificates and policies. Explanation: AWS IoT Core supports secure communication using X.509 certificates, which can be uniquely assigned to each device. Policies can control device permissions at scale. Why not other options? Option A. IAM policies for each device are not scalable for managing millions of devices. Option C. EC2 is not designed for IoT communication and would require significant custom development. Option D. S3 and Lambda are suitable for processing IoT data but do not provide secure device onboarding. Question 2. A streaming platform delivers high-quality videos to a global audience. They need low-latency delivery and want to minimize data transfer costs. Options: A. Use S3 with transfer acceleration for video storage and delivery. B. Use CloudFront with S3 as the origin and enable regional edge caches. C. Use RDS for storing videos and CloudFront for delivery. D. Use EC2 instances to serve videos directly to users. Correct answer: B. Use CloudFront with S3 as the origin and enable regional edge caches. Explanation: CloudFront caches content at edge locations, reducing latency and data transfer costs. Regional edge caches further optimize caching for frequently accessed content. Why not other options? Option A. Transfer acceleration is not as cost-efficient as CloudFront for global content delivery. Option C. RDS is unsuitable for video storage due to cost and performance limitations. Option D. Serving videos directly from EC2 instances is expensive and inefficient for global delivery. Question 3. A company wants to migrate its on-premises application to AWS with minimal downtime. The database is critical and must remain available during migration. Options: A. Use AWS Database Migration Service, DMS, in full load mode. B. Use DMS in Change Data Capture, CDC, mode. C. Use AWS Snowball Edge to transfer the database. D. Use RDS with Multi-AZ to migrate the database. Correct answer: B. Use DMS in Change Data Capture, CDC, mode. Explanation: CDC mode allows continuous replication of changes from the source database, ensuring minimal downtime during migration. Why not other options? Option A. Full load mode does not support real-time replication and causes downtime during data synchronization. Option C. Snowball Edge is for offline data transfer and not suitable for live migrations. Option D. RDS Multi-AZ is for high availability, not for migration. Question 4. A company runs a customer-facing web application in a single AWS region using an application load balancer, ALB, and auto-scaling. To improve availability during regional outages, they want to make the application highly available across multiple regions. Which architecture should they implement? Options: A. Use Route 53 with a weighted routing policy to distribute traffic between two ALBs in different regions. B. Use Global Accelerator with endpoints in two regions, pointing to ALBs in each region. C. Enable cross-region replication for the ALB to make it available in another region. D. Use VPC peering to connect the regions and route traffic between ALBs. Correct answer: B. Use Global Accelerator with endpoints in two regions, pointing to ALBs in each region. Explanation: Global Accelerator improves performance and availability by directing traffic to the closest healthy regional endpoint using AWS Global Network Infrastructure. It handles health checks and automatically redirects traffic during regional failures. Why not other options? Option A, weighted routing in Route 53 does not provide automatic failover in case of region failure, it requires manual adjustments. Option C, ALBs do not support cross-region replication, ALBs are regional resources. Option D, VPC peering only enables network connectivity and does not provide automated traffic routing or failover. Question 5. A media company collects real-time streaming data from millions of users worldwide. They want to ingest, process, and analyze the data with minimal latency. The processed data should also be stored for long-term analysis. Which architecture best suits their needs? Options: A. Use Kinesis data streams for ingestion, Kinesis data analytics for processing, and store the results in S3. B. Use DynamoDB streams for ingestion, process the data with Lambda, and store the results in RDS. C. Use an EC2 fleet with Kafka for ingestion, Spark on EMR for processing, and store the results in Redshift. D. Use SNS for ingestion, process the data with Lambda, and store the results in DynamoDB. Correct answer: A. Use Kinesis data streams for ingestion, Kinesis data analytics for processing, and store the results in S3. Explanation: Kinesis data stream supports high-throughput data ingestion. Kinesis data analytics enables real-time processing with SQL-like queries. Storing results in S3 provides cost-effective storage and integration with analytics tools like Athena. Why not other options? Option B, DynamoDB streams is for database change tracking, not high-volume data ingestion. RDS is less scalable than S3 for storage. Option C, Kafka on EC2 and Spark on EMR introduce management overhead compared to fully managed Kinesis. Option D, SNS is a notification service, not suitable for data ingestion. DynamoDB is not optimized for storing analytics data. Question 6. A company runs a big data analytics pipeline on Redshift. They process terabytes of data daily but want to reduce costs while maintaining query performance for less frequently accessed data. What should they do? Options: A. Migrate the entire workload to S3 and use Athena for querying. B. Use Redshift Spectrum to query S3 for less frequently accessed data. C. Enable Redshift auto-scaling to add nodes during high usage. D. Use DynamoDB for less frequently accessed data and integrate it with Redshift. Correct answer: B. Use Redshift Spectrum to query S3 for less frequently accessed data. Explanation: Redshift Spectrum enables querying data stored in S3 without moving it into Redshift. This reduces storage costs while maintaining query performance for infrequently accessed data. Why not other options? Option A, Athena is cost-effective but not suitable for high-performance queries across large datasets. Option C, auto-scaling is not available for Redshift, and resizing the cluster adds complexity. Option D, DynamoDB is not designed for analytics workloads and cannot integrate directly with Redshift for such use cases. Question 7. A company wants to send real-time notifications to its users when they upload a file to S3. The notifications should include metadata about the file. Which solution meets these requirements? Options: A. Configure S3 to trigger a Lambda function, which sends notifications via SNS. B. Use SQS to pull S3 for new file uploads and send notifications. C. Enable S3 event notifications to publish directly to an SNS topic. D. Use CloudWatch events to monitor S3 and send notifications via SES. Correct answer: A. Configure S3 to trigger a Lambda function, which sends notifications via SNS. Explanation: S3 event notifications can trigger Lambda functions, which can process metadata and publish messages to an SNS topic for real-time notifications. Why not other options? Option B, SQS cannot pull S3 directly. S3 event notifications do not integrate with SQS in this way. Option C, S3 event notifications cannot process metadata directly, Lambda is needed for processing. Option D, CloudWatch Events is not designed for file upload monitoring in S3. Question 8. A global e-commerce company wants to replicate data from an RDS PostgreSQL instance in one region to another region to improve read performance for users. Which solution should they use? Options: A. Enable RDS multi-AZ for the PostgreSQL instance. B. Set up a read replica in the target region. C. Use AWS DMS to replicate the database in real time. D. Use Aurora Global Database for cross-region replication. Correct answer: B. Set up a read replica in the target region. Explanation: RDS read replicas can be created in a different region to improve read performance for global users. Data replication is asynchronous. Why not other options? Option A, multi-AZ provides high availability within the same region, not cross-region replication. Option C, AWS DMS is suitable for migrations, not for improving read performance. Option D, Aurora Global Database is specific to Aurora, not PostgreSQL. Question 9. A financial company needs to store sensitive data in S3. They want to restrict access to a specific application running on EC2 instances. The solution must follow the principle of least privilege. What should they do? Options: A. Attach an IAM role with appropriate permissions to the EC2 instances. B. Use an S3 bucket policy to restrict access based on IP addresses. C. Encrypt the S3 bucket with a custom key and share the key with the application. D. Use an ACL to restrict access to the bucket. Correct answer: A. Attach an IAM role with appropriate permissions to the EC2 instances. Explanation: IAM roles grant temporary credentials to applications running on EC2 instances, following the principle of least privilege. Why not other options? Option B, restricting by IP does not ensure application-level security and can allow unintended access. Option C, sharing encryption keys manually introduces security risks and is not best practice. Option D, ACLs provide coarse-grained access control compared to IAM roles and bucket policies. Question 10. A startup wants to build a serverless backend for its mobile app. The backend should expose APIs, integrate with a DynamoDB database, and scale automatically based on demand. Which architecture should they use? Options: A. API gateway with Lambda functions and DynamoDB as the database. B. Elastic Beanstalk with an auto-scaling group and DynamoDB. C. API gateway with an EC2 backend and RDS. D. ECS with Fargate tasks and DynamoDB. Correct answer: A. API gateway with Lambda functions and DynamoDB as the database. Explanation: API gateway and Lambda provide a fully serverless solution, and DynamoDB scales automatically to handle variable workloads. Why not other options? Option B, Elastic Beanstalk introduces management overhead compared to Lambda. Option C, EC2 and RDS are not serverless and require significant scaling management. Option D, Fargate introduces more cost and complexity than Lambda for this use case.